Hi, my name is John Mariani, and this is my nutrition project for Chemistry 1405. We're going to look at macromolecules and their role within the body. There are four big ones that we're going to talk about. The first one is carbohydrates, which are responsible for chemical energy. They help nervous system, muscles, and body in general functions. The body will break these down into their base components and use the fuel for cells. Proteins, these keep the body running. Proteins form smaller units called amino acids, which are essential in life. There's about 20 to 21, if I'm not mistaken. They help to regulate metabolism, digest food, attacking antigens in the blood. Proteins are the first of the molecules of life, and they really are the building blocks of life. Proteins are the most common molecules found in cells. And then to the right here, we have just a daily intake. What your average daily intake should be. For instance, of fat should be 44 to 77 grams. Saturated fat, 24 grams. Sugar, 90 grams. Sodium, 2,300 milligrams. Protein, 50 to 175 grams. Pretty wide range. Carbohydrates are 225 to 325 grams. And fiber, 30 grams. Calories is 2,000 or 2,200, depending on age and size and sex as well. Others are fats. These are essential for life as they perform various vital functions such as insulation, protector of internal organs, adipose tissue. Fat in the brain surrounds the neurons and facilitates the easy flow of electrical signals. They're an excellent source of storage for molecules and can be stored for years. It should also be noted that fats are not the same and they can be harmful for the body, like polysaturated fats, things like that, and they're not healthy. These may be saturated or trans fats, excuse me. An electrolyte, which carries an electric charge, which we're discussing sodium, and when dissolved in the bodily fluids, helps fluids in a normal balance and play a key role in a normal nerve and muscle functions. If your sodium levels are too low, this is called hyponatremia, and if they're too high, it's hypernatremia. So that's why your sodium level is very important. All right, my first guilty pleasure meal, if you will, is from Houlihan's. It's a stuffed chicken breast. I get this every time I go. So looking at the health information here underneath the picture, the fat content, is 71% of your daily intake. The saturated fat is 108% of the daily intake. Sugar is 8%. It's actually 8%. I have it wrong there. I'm sorry. Sodium is 107%. Protein is 26%. Carbs are 20%. Fiber 27%. And the overall calories of this one meal equates to 44% of your daily intake. And then my second one would be the Firehouse Subs large meatball sub. This equates for fat 103%, saturated fat 77%, sugar 14%, sodium 131%, which is astronomical, protein 33%, carbs 30%, fiber 20%, and calories 60%. Moving on to the more healthier alternatives, I chose to stick with the Houlihan's restaurant just because I do enjoy going there with my wife. The Peregrine salad is something I've gotten before, and this is a healthier alternative. If you look at the fat content of 35%, saturated fat 29%, sugar 7%, sodium is 50%, which is a lot less than the previous meal. Protein 27%, carbs 6%, fiber 30%, and the caloric intake is only 24%, which is much lower. Second one, I stuck with Firehouse Subs just so I can keep it on the same playing field. Their large turkey sub, just a plain turkey sub as is. Fat is 69%, saturated fat 46%, sugar 13%, sodium 123%, which is extremely high as well. I was very surprised to see that. Protein 30%, carbs 29%, fiber 20%, and the calories are 47%. Overall, my guilty pleasure foods both exceeded daily recommended sodium intake, and they're both also high in fat content. The healthier alternatives were better, but the turkey sub was still not as healthy as I thought it would be. I was very surprised by that, even though I think if you cut some of the pieces out of it, maybe the mayo and whatnot, I think you could lower it. But in the end, the Peregrine salad was the best. My decidum scores low on the daily intake chart and provides a great source of antioxidants due to the greens and the leafy vegetables that are in there. It also is a great source of fiber and protein. Thank you for the time. Here are the references I used for this slideshow. Thank you very much.